Oh, nice. So it's really for your mom too. Yeah.
I guess we're about ready to get started. I'll invite folks to come a little closer, but not too close. Just a little closer so we can be together and celebrate today. We have on Facebook Live Dave and Annette, which are, I understand, friends and relatives of Marilyn. And so it is really great that, despite the difficult times that we're in, that we can still find some ways to share together through technology and those opportunities. And I'm going to pause here just to make sure that our folks joining us on Facebook Live can hear me okay.
Can you hear us okay?
Sounds good to me.
Great. So it's really such a pleasure to be here with you today. My name is Steve Holloway, and I am chairman of the board of the Sewall Child Development Center. I've had various kinds of interactions and relationships with Sewall over the course of about 25 years, but I am not the longest term volunteer and member here today. In fact, who has been with us as a volunteer and a committed supporter of Sewall's mission since, as I understand it, 1983.
Right.
So your date with your soon-to-be husband, your first date was in a call center, as I understand it, to raise money for Sewall. And so I think it just speaks to the kind of organization that Sewall is, that it engenders a degree of commitment and support that lasts much of a lifetime. And so today, for nearly 40 years, we're celebrating yet again another element of generosity from Marilyn and her late husband in support of Sewall. A few weeks ago, I brought some Boy Scouts out, and we worked on this garden because we knew that we were going to be accepting a new gift into the garden, April, the bronze statue that we're here to celebrate today. And so we spent some time pulling weeds and picking things up and making it as pretty as it could be, given the challenges that we've had through COVID. So today we have an opportunity to celebrate this garden that, as I recall, when Sewall moved in, was just kind of an unkept, vacant lot, and now it becomes a place where children can come from the playground into the garden and into nature and be able to experience natural things. I've read somewhere that nature comes through grass-stained sleeves into the heart, and it is something that a gardener experiences, and I think it's something that every child should experience. So we're all fortunate again to have Marilyn's ongoing commitment to Sewall, and just again want to express our gratitude. So at this point that I'm going to introduce Heidi Heidenbottle, who is our president and CEO, who has a few things to say. But again, we are very grateful for your presence today. Thank you so much for coming, and thank you, those of you joining us online.
All right. Thank you, Steve. Okay, can they see me? Am I in the right spot? I'm going to take my mask off just so I can project more, and hopefully I'm 6 feet away in that. Okay. But I wanted to take a few moments to share my relationship with Marilyn as the CEO, which that's, I think, when I best got to know you was 10 years ago. And it was at the Beacon dinner with Temple Grandin. And you and Doug called me over and said, I want the biggest, neediest family for those holiday gifts. And I was like, even though I had seen Marilyn before, I hadn't linked her with that. And in the past, what I also remember is the Mother's Day basket that you would give. And so knew of you as a generous spirit. But then over the last 10 years, got to know even more about Marilyn. So what I wanted to talk about is the 3 things I've learned most from Marilyn. So the one is garden. It's not physically, metaphorical. So what I've learned from you is how you plant seeds, how you tend your plants as they grow, and how you find delight and joy in beauty and growth. And then you share the beauty, particularly with children. And I'm thinking the way you plant seeds with ideas for programs, and how you follow through and make sure that we can have discussions about that. I'm thinking about the day that you brought the statue and how the children came right up to the statue, and your delight when Erica sent the pictures, and we have some of those pictures over there of people automatically loving that bronze statue. So you get what flowers and young children do. And so lesson one, garden. Lesson two, give. Marilyn is a giver in every sense of the word. And you never think about what you're getting in return. And for those of us who want to give to you, you never even give us the chance. So when we were planning the teacher, a way to honor Marilyn for how she was honoring teachers, before James and I got off the phone, Marilyn's planning the reception for the teachers that we're trying to give to her to honor the teachers. And we got off and we said, what happened? And I think the same thing here. We want to dedicate the garden, and before we know it, we have a gift of a statue. So you give in every sense of the word. And lastly, cultivate. You are a sower of seeds, and you cultivate potential. And that's what we saw in your gift for the teachers, and cultivating their potential with their salaries and showing them you believed in them. 6 or so months ago, you hosted a bunch of us at your house so we could cultivate relationships with one another and support each other in nonprofits. And a month after COVID, I remember sitting in a room in my house, and you connected all of us nonprofits via Zoom, and you wanted to know how we were doing with COVID. And that is such a gift too, to be able to cultivate those relationships. So it seems to me so pertinent that in a garden that we're cultivating and giving, that this honors you, and we are pleased to do that.
Thank you, Barbara.
And so I'd like to introduce Erica Malin, who just has a few words to say about what your gifts have meant for teachers.
Thank you, Heidi. I'm going to take my hats off too. Erica, can you? Okay.
Erica, just scoot a little in so the camera.
Yeah.
Okay. Is this good?
I think so.
Okay. Great. Okay. I want to start off with a quote. Every child deserves a champion, an adult who will never give up on them, who understands the power of connection, and insists that they become the best that they can possibly be the future. So I want to say that as Sewall, I think that as teachers, we really strive to be champions for the children, and even champions need a champion. So I really want to thank Marilyn for being a champion and for supporting us in so many ways. Thank you so much.
Thank you for all you do.
Okay. So without further ado, we have two dedications. When you go in the garden, you will see a bench. We hope you will, you can take pictures, you can sit on it, but it is a friendship bench for all the children who come into the garden, and it is in memory of Doug Morton. And they're Marilyn's husband, who got her involved with Sewall, and you'll see that over there. And then we have our unveiling of the garden. So we kind of have two titles, Marilyn, because Marilyn and I discussed many, many names. And just as we were getting a joy-filled garden printed, she let us know that her nieces and nephews call her Mimi, and also suggested Mimi's garden. So either one, I think it speaks to joy that you give the children with your gifts and by supporting teachers and all the ways you cultivate us, and we appreciate it. So thank you. And I will open if anyone else wants to say anything. You just have to come stand here, I guess, which I'm not doing a good job.
Yeah,
So the camera can see you.
About right here.
there.
Right here.
Otherwise,
Well, I'll just say a little bit.
okay.
I'm not prepared. So I have to stand halfway.
Yeah, if you like the screen, but yeah, about right there is great.
Okay. Thank you all for coming on this hot, hot day. And Sewall is very close to my heart. And I'm very glad I could do that. I had a God link. And that was when if I move, which I'm going to do soon, I didn't know what to do with April. And all of a sudden, Heidi called me about the garden, and I said, that's it. She can go to Sewall. So that's how it came to pass. But thank you again for coming.
Thank you, Marilyn.
Thank you, Marilyn.
So we hope you will have some COVID refreshments, individually packaged.
Non-COVID.
And
Yeah, non-COVID.
there's some alcohol pads and some hand sanitizer. And we hope you'll go through the garden and have a chance to talk to Marilyn.
And go see April.
Yeah.
And go see April.
Started.
Yeah, everybody on Zoom. I'm gonna, oops, Karen Purcell has been waiting. Let me see, sorry.
Okay.
Hi,
Marilyn,
Karen.
Karen, just
Hi.
if you want to talk to her
Sorry,
briefly.
we had already started, so we just, here's Marilyn, but,
Hi.
hi,
We're
everybody.
with you in spirit.
I wish you could be here.
I do too.
Let me see if I can get that. I might go and show all the people, if you guys want, that are on Zoom, I can go show you the bench and maybe April.
That'd be great.
Try that if you guys like. I'll do that real quick. So
Did you get some water, Marilyn?
I don't know if you guys can see very well, but I'm walking you down one of the pathways. We have a couple of teachers right here. But here is the memorial bench. That's in memory of Doug. Karen, can you see that?
Yes. I love it.
Looks great.
So that is right over here. This is April. So
Oh,
can you guys see that okay?
yes. And the pictures of the kids hugging her just about made me cry.
Yeah, they're pretty amazing. And I'll just kind of give you a view of the garden a bit, and then we're probably done for today because our program's done. We're so glad you could join us. And I'm sorry, Karen, that I didn't see when you had joined. So
Oh, that's okay. That's
This
okay.
is the garden.
I was like, well, you know, we're there in spirit and our hearts are with you, and give Marilyn a hug for me.
Yes, we'll give her an air hug.
An air hug.
Yes. Well, everybody,
It really does look great.
It
Annette,
does. I'm excited to see it. We'll get there.
yeah, and I'm sure, here's the sign too, everybody.
Oh, I like that.
And
Very
then,
nice.
We're so glad you could join us.
Oh, thank you. I wish
Remotely.
we were there Thank in you. person.
and here's the Mimi's garden sign that,
Oh,
That's great.
yeah. Well, we thank you. Whoops, don't want to cut in front of.
well, thank you guys. It was neat to see it. And one of these days we'll get down there.
Yeah, it's great to see everybody. I have Annette, I think I took you off of mute, and
Yeah.
and Dave, thank you for being with us, and
Well-
we'll sign off for now.
All right.
All right.
thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.